Hey everybody, Crystal here. So today I'm going to do something a little differently. I am just going to record and talk while I am doing this. Today's video, I am going to make sterling silver, 0.925 sterling silver. So how you make sterling silver is you must alloy 92.5% fine silver, which all this is fine silver, with 7.5% copper. So I don't work much with copper other than in the holidays, and I make ornaments. So this is from my last year ornament making, and I have all this copper that I saved, and it's just sitting there. So I said, you know what? I need sterling silver because it's expensive right now. It's about $40 an ounce, I think. And when I started in 2018, I want to say it was about $13 an ounce. So I use fine silver to make bezels for my gemstones. I used to use sterling silver to make bezels, but sterling silver is harder, so it doesn't push over the cabochons as easily as fine silver does. So I can use this to make bezel wire, but I have plenty of bezel wire. I don't need bezel wire right now. I need sterling silver. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that today. This video may be a little longer, just because, like I said, I'm just going to record me doing everything, and then I'm just going to put it together and post it because I want to get the information out there. I'm not a videographer. I just want people to be able to learn something where they don't have to pay an outrageous amount of money to learn it. If you just want to know how something's made, you can watch this video. Okay, so now we're going to get to it. This here, like I said, is fine silver, 0.9999. And we're going to put it here on my scale. And so it says 0 grams. And I want to make 130 gram bar. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the silver in here. And we're going to measure out I think we're just going to see how much we have here. So I shouldn't have put that bigger one in first. Let's just dump that in. That's 98. So that says that's 134.99. So we're going to maybe take, let's see if we can get it to 130. Maybe 129.91. So what we need to do now is we need to calculate the weight. So to determine the weight of fine silver that I want to alloy, I'm going to multiply that weight by 0.075 to get the correct weight of copper to add. Okay, so right here, we're at 129.91 times, and then it's going to be 0.075. Whoop, 0.075. Let's try this again. 129.91 times 0.075. So we're going to add 9.74 grams of copper. Okay, so let me get the copper real quick. Okay, so what we have here, we have copper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear that to zero it out. And like I said, we need to get to 9.74. 1.51 grams. Here's 6.72. And then what I'm doing is I'm just cutting a little bit off. 7.71. 8.38. See if I got it good. Let's see. 8.99. I'm just doing a little by little. 9.46. 9.68. Woo. 9.85. Okay. I don't know how much it matters to be right on point with this number. And of course, they won't pick it up. So we're going to try to get as close to 9.74 just because I think it matters. 9.77. Let's drop that one and take this one out. 9.76. I think we're good there. Okay, so while my furnace is heating up, this here won't fit into the crucible. So I'm just gonna see if I can cut some of this down, just where they'll fit in and they won't be too big. Most of this wheel, this piece is just too big. And let's see here. Whatever's fine. Doesn't really matter. I just want it to be, and that should slide in there. My copper. This one here I know won't fit. It's too wide. There we go. I think the rest of this would be fine. Nothing's too wide. Oh, that might need to be cut. Just make it where it's not as wide. Just so it falls in my crucible. Nice. Okay, I think we're good there. So now I'm gonna let that heat up and we'll go from there. Okay, so real quick, this here is sterling silver that I've melted down. This is scrap sterling silver that I collect when I'm making jewelry. I put it to the side, and then when I need more silver, I'll melt it down. So this is what the ingot looks like. Now, I found sterling silver using my furnace here. I keep it at about 1820 to 1840. That's where I found the melting point flows well into my ingot mold. So I'm going to show you here me pouring this sterling silver. I've not done the copper yet, so that's in here. But I got to get this out before I use this. So I open this up, and then I take my little graphite stir stick and stir it just to make sure there's no impurities that need to come off. So some stuff came out, and that's just impurities of the scrap silver whenever I'm making. And then now, I'm never the perfect pourer, so when you do this, you just have to be careful and just go for it. Oh, look at that beauty. There she went. That was a great pour. And as you pour, you get better at it. So let's see what this one turned out to be. And it's hot, but I'm impatient. So there you go. And I'm gonna put that in my little pickle pot. So that's about 130 grams. If I fill this up, that's about 130 grams of sterling silver. Ooh. Drop it in my water. There we go. So now it's time to make sterling silver from fine silver and copper. Okay, this here is the ingot mold I use. I'll put a link below. And I always spray my mold with it, and I spray the sides too, because if I do miss and the silver sticks to that, it's sometimes hard to get off. So I do spray this on that too, so I can get the silver off if it does hit it. And then I'm going to open this. And then I'm going to use these because it's hot. You can wear gloves. I'm careful, but just remember safety. You can put heated gloves on, wear a mask, whatever you think you need to do to be safe. And then I'm just going to drop all this in here. See if that big piece will get in there. Look at there. It might need to be cut down. We can get it in, I think. There we go. That's good enough. Like I said, I've never done this before, but how do you know what you can do and you can't do if you don't try? And it's good to learn stuff, learn new things. I just like the process of making stuff. I like tools too, if you can't tell. Okay, so that's about full. It's just got to melt down. So we're going to close it. And right now it's at about 1797. That's going to keep dropping until it starts melting. And then it's going to come back up. So for my research, I found that the melting point of copper is 1983 degrees Fahrenheit. And most of the numbers I say are in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So, the melting point of fine silver is 1763 Fahrenheit. So 1703 degrees. They say the melting point of 0.925 sterling silver is 1639 degrees. Playing with this, like I said, I found a good pour, and the degrees is 1820 to 1845. That's what I do. But if you get this, that kind of gives you a start off of where you need to start, because I did make a previous video of me using this. I used to use just a handheld crucible, which you can see in my previous videos there also. But with me playing around, that's what I figured out. Okay, I think it's pretty melted. It's at 817 right now. Going back up. Let's take a peek. I want to lift you up. Kind of look in there. I don't want to get close. But yeah, you see how molten it is? See if I can shake it. Finish adding the rest of this. To a little bowl. I'm just going to move my arm out of the way. Ooh, hot. There we go. And then you take the stick and just stir it. Now I'm going to just let it sit there and just melt more. Oh no, I think I'm going to let it get to about 1820 and check it again, because see, it's dropping again because I just put metal back in. Okay, so now we're about 1828, and this didn't take long. It's probably been a minute. And then we're going to stir, and everything looks like it's pretty melted together. I mean, looks pretty good. I'm hoping it is. Let's see if you can see in here. Okay, so let's pour it. Let's see what happens. And I've already sprayed my ingot mold. And then we're going to take, and when you're doing this, make sure you have surfaces that will not catch on fire. So I have this, and I'm going to slide this back over just because I like to have this closer here. Put that there so I still have a fire protective area here. And then let's pour. And then as you do this, it does, I think, get easier. There we go. Woo! A little too much. But let's see what happened. Got back in there. And it is hot, but like I said, it's not too hot. Drop that out. Look at that, baby. I think we're okay. And then all these pieces that did drop out, I just drop back in here because we need all the silver we can get. Okay, so here is the sterling silver that I made from scrap, and here's the fine silver and copper to make 0.925 sterling silver. Now I do have a little more in here. This is hot, so I don't want to touch it. But as I said, I'm impatient. And it takes too long for this stuff to cool. And I'm going to put that back. And I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. And then we're going to get this monster for some wire making. Okay, so I still have some left over. So I have this tool, and what I found that works best is I take something, so I'm just going to use this silver ingot and lift it up and put it on like a down slope. So when I pour, the metal will roll down. Rather than me having to move it, it should roll down. So let's see what happens. Okay. And then like I said, this whole pouring process, this is even harder because it's farther away. But there we go. So I got a little one, that's perfect. Because what I'll do is I will roll these out to make ingot wire. Not ingot wire, to make wire. For like ring bands, half round wire, round wire. Okay. So there's like a little bit here where it pours out. I just drop that back in there. See, there was a big blob. So I'll put all this extra back in here. And I'll let that melt again. And then I'll try and pour another one. Okay. So now, put some lube on it. Grab this. Still not melted all the way, but we'll stir it up. See the temperature dropping? Wait till that gets up to about 1820, and then we'll pour again. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to come back to temp, this is the ingot mold that I poured, and I had this big lump on it. Actually, I think it was this way. So I just sawed that off. And I just wanted to show you on the inside. that everything did mix well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and just drop it back in here and melt it down. Okay, so we're now going back up. I'm going to give it a little more angle, and let's see if we can't get a longer wire ingot with that more angle. Like I said, you don't know things until you try them. And then just be real careful here. Try to aim it right. Oh, look at there. Probably could have kept going, but these lengths here are fine for me. I don't know, maybe in another video I'll show you rolling out half round wire with an ingot that small to see how much wire you get. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would think maybe that'd give me 5 or 6 inches of half round wire, maybe 8. But I don't know till I try. And then stir that up. Make sure my temperature. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna spray the mold and pour it. Ooh, look at that one. Here we go. And then put that in my pickle. It's really, really hot, so be careful. Make sure you have a fireproof area. Make sure, because if this does spill, you know, I have this here and this, you know, this wood is probably not the best thing, but my pours are pretty accurate, so normally don't have a problem. Always good to have a fire extinguisher nearby, but just really be aware of what you're doing is the best advice I can give you. But I think that's it for today. So if you did enjoy everything, make sure you subscribe, follow, comment, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.